Hi, I'm Lily. Today I'm going to read your story, The Selfish Giant. Reading at level 12. The Selfish Giant. Okay, let's read it. Okay, The Selfish Giant. The Selfish Giant. Okay, let's read it. Okay, this one. The Selfish Giant. Chapter 1. Every day after school, the children crept into the giant's garden. No one had told them they could, but then no one had told them they couldn't. They were doing no harm, they said to each other. The giant was there. He'd been away for years and years. None of them even knew what he looked like. They climbed the tree and hid in the bushes. They played soccer and ran races over the lawns. And when they grew tired, wait a minute, where is it? Oh, wait a second, please.
Maybe you have to just end it.
Yeah. And the birds singing day after day, the children playing in the garden. It was a wonderful, happy place until the giant came back. He'd been traveling for a long time and was feeling tired and cross. He didn't want to see anybody. He didn't want to talk to anybody. But yes, there was children. He didn't want to see anybody. He didn't want to talk to anybody. All he wanted to do was go to bed and sleep. When he saw children running around his garden, he was angry. "You are not allowed in here," he shouted. "Get out! Go away! Don't come back!" And he chased them, yelling them and shouting so loudly that the leaves were ripped from the trees. The flowers hid their heads under the earth. The birds flew away.
And what happened?
And he stood alone in the middle of the lawn. "It's my garden," he roared. "Mine, mine, mine."
Is it a lion?
No.
A giant?
Yeah. And to stop the children ever coming back, he built a great big wall topped with broken glass and barbed wire. He put up signs: "Keep out, stay away, private." All summer long, the children had nowhere to play. Chapter 2. Summer turned into autumn, and then winter. Snow flew over the city, throwing great white flakes from the sky. Her brother Frost slid over ponds and puddles, turning them to ice. Outside in the streets, the traffic turned on the snow gray and gritty. But inside the giant's garden, a thick blanket covered the ground. It lay crisp and fresh and smooth. Smooth? Yeah. It was then smooth. No one threw snowballs. No one crushed footprints along the path. No one made snowmen or sledded across the lawns. No one skated on the frozen pond. That winter was long and hard, but at last the days started to get a bit warmer. Spring was on its way. Every year when spring came, snow and fast frost had to fly north, but this year was different. The children had been chased. The children had been chased from the stuffy giant's garden without them swinging the branches. There was nothing to wake the trees from their winter sleep. The birds had flown away without them singing. The flowers still dust around the ground. Yeah.
Lily?
Yes.
Nothing.
You can go out. Snow and the Frost were delighted. We can stay here forever, Snow said to her brother. This will be our home. We should celebrate. Frost replied, in fact, let's have a party. They invited Hail and the North Wind. The four friends began to dance. Snow whirled around the giant's house. North Wind screamed down his chimneys. Frost breathed over the windows, and Hail drummed on the roof. The giant huddled down into his bed, waiting for the spring, but it never came. On the other side of the world, the children watched spring turn to summer and the autumn, but in the garden, nothing changed. Yeah, really, nothing changed.
Nothing?
Yeah, nothing.
Any single piece?
Yeah, nothing. Piece changed.
Oh.
And, ooh, so beautiful, isn't it?
Wow.
And nothing changed. No flowers turned to seed. No leaves changed their colors. No fruit hung from the trees. The snow and ice got deeper and thicker, and the air got colder and colder. Colder and colder.
Only that word?
Yes. And under his blanket, the giant was miserable. What happened? He said to himself. What is the summer so late? He was all alone. There was no one to answer him. Snow and frost. Snow and frost. And the hill and the north wind danced more and more wildly. They laughed. They laughed and shrieked and made so much noise the giant put his fingers day and night. He had no peace. He had no peace.
No.
Yeah. Chapter 3. But then one morning the giant woke with a shock. It was quiet. Hail stopped drumming on the roof. North wind had stopped screaming on down the chimneys. Frost had gone from the windows and snow. Where was snow?
No?
Snow.
Snow.
Yeah, where was snow? Yeah, where was snow? I wonder. Me too.
It's not winter, so there's no storm and snow.
Ah, you think that way? Oh, maybe you're right.
Or the kids are not happy, so there is no snow?
Yeah, and okay, let's keep looking. Then we'll have the answer. The silence was broken by the sound of sweet music. It was so long since the giant had heard a bird song that for a moment he didn't know what it was. Throwing off his blanket, he went to the window. When he looked out, he saw the children had crept through a hole in the wall. They had climbed into trees, which had woken up and burst into leaf. All around them, birds were singing. Snowdrops and daffodils had poked their heads above the ground. It was a wonderful sight. It was a wonderful sight. Yeah, it was a wonderful sight, but in the furthest corner of the garden, it was still winter. Yes, it was still winter because there was just one kid. Just one kid.
So smooth.
Oh, I want to try.
Okay. But this is the very best part. Look, you like this and
And but in the furthest corner of the garden, it was still winter, and Giant could see a boy standing underneath the tree. But it was so small he couldn't climb it, no matter how hard he tried. He was crying as the north wind snapped around his ankles and hailed it through stones at his head. Oh, how bad. And pity melted the giant's selfish heart. He tiptoed downstairs and opened the door. When the other when the other children saw him, they ran away, and the whole garden became winter again. Snow rolled in a great blaze across the grass. Frost snapped off the flowers' heads and turned the pond to ice. The little boy didn't run away. His eyes were so full of tears he didn't even see the giant coming. Oh, didn't even see the giant coming?
yes, giant.
Yeah, he didn't saw it. He didn't ever see it coming. And okay, he didn't ever see the giant coming. Gently, the giant picked over itself in blossom, and at once the tree covered itself in. Yeah,
Did you see it?
what?
The heart.
Yeah, and itself into a blossom. Do you know this story? Yeah, I know this story, but it's a little bit different that I know. And the giant looked at the baby. A boy, it was strange, he thought. The boy was so small, so young, he could be only 2 or 3. Yet, his eyes seemed old as the star. The boy didn't say a word, but sat gazing at the giant. And his eyes were deep and dark, and the endless universe glowed, and the sorrow and the sadness and joy and love. When the other children saw the boy smiling at the giant, they came running back. The spring came with them. Turning away the boy, the giant went to work. He fetched a hammer and knocked down to the wall. It's your garden now, he told the children. Play wherever you like. Make yourselves at home. Make yourselves at home. Okay. Make yourselves at home. And from that, the children played drum ropes and played hide and seek, and they did almost everything. And the giant liked to watch them what they do. After that, the children played in the giant's garden every day, but the young boy with eyes as old as stars never came back again. The giant often wondered about him. Who was he? Where he had he from? Where he had gone? The giant missed him. Chapter 4. The season changed. The season changed, and the season changed. The season changed, and it was like, and years went by. The children grew up and had children of their own who played in the garden every day after school. Yeah, and there is so many people now. But the giant got older and weaker, but he still loved to sit and watch them. They say they are playing and that. But he loved seeing the children run and climb moss over even though he loved plants and flowers too. The giant really loved the kids very much. Oh, it's so funny, isn't it? Yeah, and what's this? Okay, and then one winter morning when he had grown very old, the giant looked out of his winter. It in the furthest corner was he had never seen before. Its golden branches bore silver fruit and white tree, and under a tree there was a young boy. He had grown no taller or older than the last time the giant had seen it. The giant's legs were stiff and his joints ached. It took him a long time to make his way down the stairs and into the garden. As the giant hobbled across the lawn toward him, the young boy with eyes as old as stars smiled. "You let me play once in your garden. Today you shall come with me to mine." He held out his hand. The giant took it, and all at once his aches and pains vanished. When the children ran into the garden that afternoon, the giant was gone. Was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he died.
Yeah, I think.
Or go away.
No, I think he died because when he grabbed the boy's hand, it's vanished. Do you remember?
Really?
Yeah, the pain, all the pain washed away.
Paint?
Pain.
What's a paint?
고통.
In Korean?
Yeah. When the children ran to the garden, there was no giant. There was only a tree all covered with dazzling white blossom, whose golden branches hung heavy with silver fruit. Today, I read the story, The Selfish Giant. Okay, is it over? Yes, it's over. Today, I read the story, The Selfish Giant. Okay, bye.
Heart.
Bye.